and welcome to the EMF studio. I am delighted to be joined here by Mostafa Talaat, CEO of Ankh Resources.
I'm happy to share this insight interview with you today. And being a mining engineer in Egypt while you are still in the university, sometimes it's not very clear on what's going to be your future looking like going out of the mining department, not having much mine operating in Egypt. So let's say I was lucky that I was directly hired by Santamin at the time when they were just starting the development of the production of the mine in Sukkari gold mine in Egypt. So let's say that I was one of the very first team who joined the mining department in Sukkari, putting the footprint of the first producing mine in Egypt. The ambitious and the prestige behind this motivated not only myself, me and all the colleagues who used to work at the Santamin and still some of them working in Santamin until today, to try to develop ourselves and prove to the world that Egyptians can do it. The history of gold mining in Egypt itself is unique. So our passion was to make the Sukkari gold mine also unique, supported by Santamin as company, invested lots of investment in development and capacity building for its employees at that time, which I was one of them. This, in any emerging market, the opportunities are always available, and the people who have the right expertise can get the best in gap filling and helping the local economy and the local industry to grow healthy. So because of our expertise, myself and my partners, first we haven't initiated anything in Egypt until we have traveled enough and worked enough outside of Egypt as well to be sure that we are fully aware about this industry and how it looks like worldwide. So going back to Egypt in 2016, the government had an ambitious plan to develop the mining sector. We knew about the great strategy that they are trying to follow, accepted by the investors and investments to come to the country. The first bid round can give you a good example about the mixture of the bigger picture that the Egyptian mining sector can have. In the first time you have in the rent, royalty and tax system bid round, you ended up having 3 producing companies and at least 6, 7 junior exploration companies. Some of them are coming to Egypt for the first time, others are still operating in other jurisdictions. So the first movers advantage motivated not only us, many people, that Egypt is having something unique and you need to look at it carefully. Why all these companies coming to the country in one bid round? Then Ankh Resources was born for the main purpose of putting a footprint for the Egyptian expertise in the eastern desert soil, funded by mainly investors coming from Egypt and outside of Egypt. We managed, based on our shown expertise and knowledge about the industry, attract more investments to come towards us. We have proven to be successful by getting into Dara, the concession that we got awarded. You never know, the gold price is still rising up, but it's a precious metal. At the end of the day, it can be affected by many other factors other than how competent you are. So the existence of copper in our concession can be a savior, especially that the demand for the copper, for the green transformation happening worldwide is highly needed. So this is how we started as mining expertise in Santamin Sukkari gold mine, which sometimes I like to call it the School of Mines of Egypt, to become a CEO of a company. This reflects the local content development that we were just discussing in the panel talk less than an hour ago, that company or mining can make a big impact in economies and in social contribution to the countries where you have mining operations coming towards you.
You obviously touched on earlier Ankh Resources won the bid round licenses recently. What I wanted to understand was, obviously we're getting a feel across the whole country that Ankh Resources is becoming a very influential company and really driving growth in the Egypt mining sector. What is next for you? What is next for Ankh Resources?
Well, the sky is the limit if you have the right ambitions about what you are doing, and the commodity prices are still attracting investors to invest more. For sure, Egypt, we have appetite to do more investments in our country before we can think about any other country to add into our profile. Our investors, because of the background as well, and all of them are coming from reputable investment families in Egypt here, are already trying to work hardly with us to find the further opportunities that we can find within the country. We are patiently watching what's happening in the current bid round open in Talaat Mining Company, but we still be looking for more bid rounds to come from the mineral resource authorities so we can assess and look at and decide. And in case the Mineral Resource Authority and the Ministry of Petroleum, I'm sure that they are working hardly in trying to identify other commodities and other minerals that can be adding value. We can still look at the battery-related energy group, since we are already having copper in our prospect at the moment, that we can be a diversified company working in precious and base metals at the same time. In the Arab-Nubian Shield, for sure, Saudi Arabia is opening more doors now for investments, and we have personally witnessed how ambitious they are in the marketing they are trying to do, and not only inside Saudi and worldwide. Egypt is still doing the same thing as much as we can, trying to promote the country and attract more investors. So Ankh Resources, the main target is to become one of the best frontier on the developers in the Arab-Nubian Shield, since it's a fresh ground. Arab-Nubian Shield countries mainly are coming from Middle East, which we have the local background of how we can operate. As long as we are bringing good results in our exploration, I'm sure our shareholders will still be happy and having the appetite to invest more, hoping to become one of the best developers in mines in the Arab-Nubian Shield maybe within the next 10 years.
Yeah, no, you talked a lot about Egypt growing its mining sector, and I guess we all know the potential that Egypt has for mineral development, and the government recently announced its ambitious plans to put Egypt on the global investment map for minerals. So, I mean, from that perspective, what would you say are the next steps that the government should take to further increase exploration projects in the country and really try and attract junior mining companies to Egypt to carry out exploration projects that could lead to the potential of commercial discoveries?
Well, you have seen with your own eyes that during the last 2 days how active our Minister of Petroleum is, Engineer Tariq Al-Mullah, trying to, first of all, meet with everyone coming to the conference like they are his own guests. You know, he haven't ignored anyone. He met with the junior explorers, with the producers available in the country. This is a clear message for anyone who haven't yet been here that we have a new way of thinking the government is adopting at the moment. We are more open and welcome to discuss with investors. You know, the negotiations that have been happening now with some of the companies existing in Egypt, it's a new trend. Before it wasn't much of negotiation you can do with the government as per the law. So now the companies who have seen something that can be adding more value to the industry were encouraged to discuss it with Engineer Tariq, and he was welcoming to have such a proactive workshop working hand to hand with the private sector. The roundtable discussions also have grouped together a mixed diversity of companies between the big and the smaller companies. So the more we are putting a focus and spotlight in the big companies that we have in country, which is still good for any junior explorer coming, the more we need to put focus on the junior exploration and try to promote them. In other countries, they have access to funds to support the junior explorer in tough times, finding the right commodities that the junior exploration can be attractive so it can bring good investments towards the country. Not all the big mining companies are passionate about jumping into greenfield exploration because it's the biggest risk, and also coming to a new country, maybe you will struggle until you understand how to operate and navigate in these countries. So many of the major mining companies prefer to give this to the junior explorers who can actually be having more flexibility in opening doors and trying to come to new jurisdictions, taking the highest risk. And this will be rewarded once you have a valid resource or a valid potential for a mine that can be suitable for any big mining company, that they will come. But if you have them already in the country where you are going to, you have more comfort zone that my exit strategy may be available in the same country while I'm still going into it.
Thank you. And of course, Ankh Resources are supporting the Egypt Mining Forum for the second time. You were a supporter last year. What's your overall thoughts been on the forum, just in terms of the growth that we've witnessed from last year to this year, and the potential of the forum to really be instrumental platform for international dialogue and bring potential investors in and junior exploration companies to really develop the sector here in Egypt?
Look, Sherdal, when you announced the first EMF last year, Ankh Resources was just 1 month awarded, and we were still keen to support the government and show off that Egypt is welcoming and opening doors for junior explorers to come. SPVs or special purpose vehicles that were recently established to come to a bid round showing enough expertise and enough finances that they can do it, get awarded concessions. So this was from our side a kind of support to our minister to show next to him that he's not only having producing companies on the table, and there are junior markets open doors for you to come to Egypt. Second edition is what we have expected and actually much more. That first of all, the minister during the last year was still promoting to the mineral resource sector aggressively in any talks he is doing, and this lead to more attractiveness to the country. So having this event becoming much bigger and much more diversified in the companies existing around the exhibition area and the conference room will put expectations that the next year will be in a much bigger place and it will keep growing, and this is a cornerstone that we need to keep elaborating and promoting, and at the same time from the government side, from one conference to another, we need to have more commodities to be offered for the investors, so we keep the interest of the people to still come to you, and you never know what gold prices may look like in the next few months or the next year. So as a kind of a safety for the good environment and the good economy that we have created based on the mining, I see that we still need to make diversity, and I'm sure that the ministry are already working on this. Next year we will have more options to deal with the Egyptian government by having a portal and a mining cadastre being executed. I have witnessed today a presentation about how good it will be and the latest technology that will be used in it. So by next year, maybe you will have people coming, but while they are coming, they have already pre-registered for a license. So while they are attending the conference, they may need to look at it or make a ground visit. So this will create more attractiveness and more people who would love to come and see. The geology of Egypt is very attractive for geologists, I'm sure. Yani some of them can come to Egypt here as a tourism. So we are welcoming all the comers and all the companies who would like to come to Egypt. Ourselves, we still have the appetite to invest more. Supporting the ministry is our duty of care, since we are already from the local background. So supporting the ministry is supporting to Egypt. So thank you as well, DMG, for putting all the efforts working with the ministry hand to hand during the last few months in trying to organize such a prestigious event that we are all feeling very proud. Seeing the visitors that we are usually meeting outside of Egypt, now we have the ability to host them in Egypt. So thanks Shardul and all the MG team, and above all the ministry and the ministry team for taking the responsibility of making this annual conference better every year.
No, and thank you, Mostafa, for not only just supporting the Egypt Mining Forum, but your contributions to the Egyptian mining sector and helping us with your continuous support. And yes, inshallah, we look forward to even a bigger event next year in 2024.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm betting on this from now. So hopefully 2024 will be much bigger.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.